The Morning Majlis, talking the stories that are shaping headlines. This is Pulse 95.
A nation in mourning, certainly. Buenos Aires, lots of people coming down and paying the tribute. Football game yesterday, also paying tribute to a man who was always viewed as a legend and has, in recent years, been the coach in the United Arab Emirates, Mexico and Argentina. And he was voted in as the player of the century way back in 2000. What a sad day for a lot of football fans, and what a well looked up individual, Diego Maradona. And it's very sad to hear of him parting, and he passed away due to a cardiac arrest.
Yeah, it's a very sad situation that happened. Diego Maradona's last words before he died were, "I feel sick," or in Spanish, "me siento mal." But the Argentinian football legend, who was 60, suffered a heart attack at home yesterday, just 2 weeks after he was released from the hospital following his surgery for a blood clot or bleed on his brain. So basically, on Wednesday morning, he had come down for breakfast looking pale and complained that he felt cold. So he said to his nephew, "I feel sick," and that was before returning to bed in his Buenos Aires mansion. Shortly before noon, a nurse discovered Maradona and phoned for help, but he was dead before paramedics could arrive. Now we know that 3 days of mourning have been declared by the Argentinian president, and he also said that you took us to the top of the world. You made us immensely happy. You were the greatest of all. Thanks for having existed. Diego, we will miss you for a lifetime. And those were the words of the Argentinian president, Alberto Fernandez. But Maradona, he was one of the biggest figures in football history. Definitely. He was a legend.
Yeah, definitely. He was an absolute legend. And his play on the field inspired so much poetry and writing. And it really captured people's imagination. The way he played the game as if the ball was glued to his foot.
Yeah.
And he was very elusive, just storming through the field like a bull, and he had so much fun doing it. It was absolutely inspiring. Even though I wasn't of age at the time, the way my parents spoke about his play was absolutely mind-boggling. And when you watch those videos, like the hand goal, for instance, and others, it was incredible. Now, he died at an age that is too young, 60 years old.
Yeah.
And that's because he lived a pretty complicated life, a life of excess, of addiction, a troubled life. And he's also had massive weight fluctuations throughout the years that surely placed massive stress on his heart. But on the same token, he lived a life of passionate intensity and always stood in the side of the oppressed and the poor people, and always stood against imperialism, particularly. He always spoke out on the self-determination of Latin America, the global South, always spoke up for children who grew up in those abject conditions, the poverty that he grew up in his childhood as well. He was friends with a number of politicians from Latin America, namely Hugo Chavez and the late Fidel Castro as well, and took political stances throughout his life that may have been controversial to many. In '95, he tried to form a union of professional football players for many years, and said he wanted to fight for players' rights. He was also a vocal supporter of Palestinian people. And basically throughout his life, even earlier this year, would routinely visit various Latin American countries and speak on the issues there and his support for the people. So he's much, much bigger than a legendary football player, and has always pretty much been a man of the people. And I think that's one thing that many people remember him for.
Yes, and like a lot of people, especially in South Asia, countries like India and Bangladesh in particular, they're a massive fan of Argentina. And one of the reasons they've been a massive fan of Argentina is because of figures like Maradona, and they've seen and admired the way he helped the team win in 1986, and really got everyone motivated and felt a deep connection with this individual, to an extent that even my barber, when I go to him and talk about football, all he talks about is Maradona. It's like he was the best person. He was a different character. Now, obviously, we've grown up in our generation with a lot more coverage for footballers and loving the hairstyles and everything. But Maradona had a completely different viewing and a reputation. To an extent, we had that in England with David Beckham. David Beckham, even though he was a very good player, he's viewed as the living legend. And for Maradona, he was kept on a very, very different level,
yeah.
completely, and he might not have been the best of all role models given his recent experiments with intoxicants, let's say. But in terms of what was going on, it was in terms of how he was as a character. He literally connected with so many people, and he was a genuine nice guy. You know, whenever you see him at events, whenever you've seen him living in the United Arab Emirates, he was very passionate about football. Oh God, when he watches his team and he wants to show his emotions, he was skyrocketing. It'd be so out there. But no, it's a sad reality that we're facing at the age of 60. A legend of our time, certainly, and footballer of the centuries, they described him as sadly passed away. Well, keep your thoughts coming in. Lots of people coming back with their texts and responses and paying tribute to the legend, and we shall continue the discussions here on the Morning Majlis. Up next, it's going to be All Things. Right after the news headlines, we'll be back again, and it is going to be all things holidays, all things exhibitions, because there's so much to look forward to here in the Emirate of Sharjah over the weekend, and with our plans on celebrating the holiday season for sure. Stay tuned to Pulse 95.
City Trivia.
City Trivia.
Pulse 95.
Pulse 995.
City Trivia. Where in the world are we?
This is our signature little quiz that we throw hints at you, and you have to guess which city we are potentially in or which part of the world we're talking about. For this city trivia, we're talking about a region.
A region?
Yes, a region.
Okay.
So one of the reasons why we're talking about it is because we can't travel, and lots of countries are now banning certain activities. In the United Arab Emirates, Ras Al Khaimah and Fujairah they've banned camping, so which is a bit of a downer. Yeah. And so has Italy. Italy has banned skiing in the Alpines. They're like, no, not for this holiday season. It's a pretty big thing for the festive season, and the Christmas holidays. A lot of people do go over, and then they just said, look, khalas, no more tourists, which is rightly so, because the world is Europe is in a bit of a lockdown situation. You'll be very silly. Yeah, it'll be silly to be heading out. But we are talking about one part of the world. Okay. It is known for being a magnet for wanderers. Very vague sort of
part of the world, meaning a country or a continent.
It's in a country. It is a region that is known as a magnet for wanderers. It extends.
You lost the thought.
A magnet for wanderers. That's a lot of places.
It's a lot of places. It is known as a desert. It is the 8th largest desert in the world. And it also has...
That made it easier.
Yeah, right?
Did it?
Just got to know which ones are the 7 larger deserts.
Let me go through the first 7 first.
Yeah, exactly. This is why it is funny, because we know of the 7 large deserts. Most of those...
We know?
We really do, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the
I wasn't
8th.
aware of that. I didn't get the memo.
I didn't get it either, honestly.
It is... Well, there's
tough.
known deserts.
Okay.
Okay, just like the continents. So we're talking about the 8th largest desert. It was known, it was also home to the world's largest dinosaur. Makes it a lot easier.
Okay.
So it is also part of a growing and expanding glacier. Okay. It has more penguins than humans in this part of the world. And it is...
Does it have elephants?
No. You shouldn't have elephants.
Okay.
No. And this part of the world is also the part of the world where you find more Welsh people outside of Wales. It's not making your things easier. Okay.
No.
Right.
Okay.
It has the second longest living species on Earth. Not making it easier. I'm just going through some
You're just okay.
Okay. It is a desert, right? Located in a country which is sadly in mourning at the moment.
Oh,
This
Argentina.
is the biggest hint, but I need to know the desert of Argentina.
Hold on,
so it's
hold
in
on.
Argentina?
It's a desert with penguins?
Yeah,
Interesting.
That is really interesting.
Yeah.
because you have to look at the term desert. Desert does not necessarily mean just sand.
I hear you.
At first, I thought it was Tanzania
Okay.
because you said dinosaurs and stuff,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's not.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
let's stick to Argentina,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's
Yes.
Argentina.
It is a national park / desert located in that country. Yes, country that is at the moment in mourning. It is literally known as the land of the big feet. If we know the sort of big hint, if you know your Spanish.
Land of the big feet. What does that mean? Interesting. Well, they speak Spanish, so let's go with South America. Why not?
Yeah, so it is the
So-
8th largest.
With Welsh people in there, I'm so confused. Why are there Welsh people there?
Yeah,
And
well,
penguins in the desert.
Penguins in the desert, Welsh people.
It's a
And
desert
it's the
with
eighth
speaking
largest.
Spanish.
It's the desert where temperatures only average around 3 degrees Celsius.
Uh-oh.
At 3 and 12 degrees Celsius.
Okay.
And the reason why we say the largest desert in our planet is actually Antarctica, because a desert is literally a barren area of land with little precipitation and hostile conditions for plant and animal life. But at the moment, it is the 8th largest desert, and it has a name.
Interesting.
I mean, if I was on the other side of the fence, I would not have known, to be honest. So I completely understand. But it's just a
Okay.
fun fact I found from that country, which we want to pay tribute to because they've just lost a very popular icon. So if you know of a desert in
So you
Argentina.
sympathize with us right now.
Yeah, I do, because I would not have known.
And you feel the
I was-
agony that we feel
I was
right
going
now.
through and I thought, okay, let's look for a quiz question on Argentina. And then I came across this and I thought this could be common knowledge, but it definitely isn't because I did not know at all. But if you know the answer, text us 4215. People are finding it difficult at the moment, but lots of people come back with the responses, but they're sadly wrong. But what we'll do is we'll let you go. And we'll say the answer is Patagonia.
Argentina?
Yeah, Argentina.
Oh, there we go.
We
Patagonia.
said Argentina, we just didn't know where.
Yeah,
It's-
exactly.
It's confusing. They're like, okay, why are there Welsh people there?
Yeah.
I had no idea penguins could live there in the first place.
Yes, it is the largest colony of Magellanic penguins in the world.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Okay, well, this was a tough one. I'll give
Very
you that.
tough one.
Very tough one.
Don't repeat that again.
Don't repeat this again. Well, stay with us on the Morning Majlis. We'll be right back after the news, sports news. Stay tuned to Pulse 95. City Trivia's failed. Going back.
City Trivia.
City Trivia.
Pulse 95.
Pulse 95.
City Trivia.
Are you making
Where
up
in
for the old
world
one?
are
What
we?
are we doing?
I'm making up for the old one because I did mess up a little bit because I asked about a region I've forgotten, Patagonia.
Patagonia, yeah.
Yes, from the 8th largest desert in the world.
Yeah.
And it was very difficult for these guys to guess. Now, for all of you, if you'd like to take part in this, text lines are open 4215. If you text and you join the discussions and join the quiz, we will save your number and we'll invite you during our special National Day broadcast, either into the studio or
Yes.
even we call you up and we give you a chance to win some vouchers for the National Day.
Brilliant.
So you can win stays at the Sharjah Sheraton, you can win some vouchers from the Sharjah Co-op, you can win lots of things. So how about some free groceries? That's the best thing ever. Okay, we're asking you, which country or city has now been named as the most connected city in the world?
Most connected?
Yeah.
Japan? Tokyo?
No, that's not the right answer. One city in the world has been now known as the most connected city in the world. Okay?
Is it a place that I like?
Potentially.
Dubai.
Potentially. It is...
Beijing.
It offers a 144-hour visa, just to let you know, a 6-day visa specifically for that city in that country. There's a separate visa for that city. It has the longest metro system in the world. 644 kilometers of tunnels and tracks
Okay.
underneath the city of this city.
The city of the city.
Yes, it's known sometimes also as the city that never sleeps, and it also hosts a Disneyland. It is
Before you said
Hong Kong?
Disneyland, I was thinking London with the
No.
tube
Hong Kong?
underground.
No.
But no.
It has 644 kilometers of metro. It's the world's longest metro
Wow.
connection is in this city and has now been regarded as the most connected city. It has dethroned London. And that's according to an IATA study. IATA has now labeled this city as the world's most connected city. Which city are we talking about? It's dethroned London.
Has dethroned London. It sounds pretty Asian,
It
quite
is.
frankly.
It is the largest city of the country that we're talking about. It is. It's also got an old city, has an amazing architecture, and it is also.
So it's not Hong Kong.
No.
Shanghai.
Oh,
Uh,
yikes.
Potentially.
Beijing.
Beijing.
Throw all the names out there.
Throw all the names out there. It is.
Orlando.
It is where you can find.
I'm connecting with Disneyland.
Yeah, I like that.
It has Disneyland, this city. So this is
Yeah.
what we're talking about. Which city is the world's most connected city? If you know the answer, text us on 4215 and you can join the celebrations of all things National Day quiz. So that's one thing that we're inviting you for. So do join in. Text lines are open, 4215. We'll reveal the answers and we'll also reveal the winners who will be joining us on the National Day quiz here on Pulse 95. Stay tuned. This is the Morning Majlis.
Pulse 95. Between local lines. Notes from the Emirate. Pulse.
Notes from the Emirates, indeed.
Yes.
It's the festival of
Festival.
entrepreneurs.
Event season.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're so excited for this one in particular. The Sharjah Entrepreneurship Center is bringing together globally renowned experts, entrepreneurs, leaders, and influential change makers, let's say, for the 4th annual edition of the Sharjah Entrepreneurship Festival, which goes fully online this year to enlighten and inspire young changemakers passionate about solving challenges and also leaving their mark as the world rebuilds post-COVID societies and economies. And for the first time in its history, it's going to be free to attend the festival, and it will be accessible to anyone from anywhere across the globe, especially given the fact that it will be virtual.
Yeah, and this free and virtual event is going to benefit from Shirah's $1 million Solidarity Fund that was announced earlier this year to support startups in the country and the wider MENA region to help them cope with the implications of COVID-19. And there will be a lot to glean from this festival. I mean, last time around, there were so many important voices and thinkers and business people and successful entrepreneurs as well, talking about their journey, the struggles, and how you could navigate those struggles as well. And we're going to have pretty much the same thing this year. It's going to be held under the theme #BeTheHero and features a packed agenda of keynote talks, knowledge-sharing panels, and interactive workshops as well. It's there for you to discover and unleash your true potential.
I've been a big fan of that entrepreneurship festival, to be honest.
Yeah.
Organized by Shara, and it's such a light-hearted, relaxed cool, hip kind of an event with beanbags everywhere. Though I'm not sure how they're going to be planning it this time round in terms of because of the precautions that are required. But the vibe at the entrepreneurship festival is incredible. I remember when Gary Vaynerchuk was here. Oh my God, the whole nation came to the Sharjah Entrepreneurship Festival. It literally felt like the who's and who's of the world of entrepreneurs, the influencers, the super crazy fans of Gary Vaynerchuk were all filling that big tent, and it's such a massive event. The Entrepreneurship Festival, and it's something that Sharjah gets very, very excited for, and we all do here in Pulse 95. Absolutely love that event, and it is something that you've got to come and experience.
Definitely, and commenting on that, to be part of the region's this largest festival celebrating entrepreneurs and to stay updated on the festival agenda, interested participants, you can, if you're an interesting participant, you can follow SEF or Sharjah Entrepreneurship Festival 2020 on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn as well at Sharjah EF. That's Sharjah EF, or you can visit the website at www.sharjahef.com. So get involved.
Yeah, and a lot of big speakers going to be there as well. Dr. Jane Goodall, primatologist, anthropologist, and UN Messenger of Peace will be there. We also get the 2006 Nobel Peace Prize winner, Muhammad Yunus, and Bangladeshi social entrepreneur. We also have the founder and CEO of a non-profit global venture capital fund that addresses global poverty. It's called Acumen, and its founder is Jacqueline Novogratz, is going to be another notable guest in this year's edition. They'll also bring the UK-based organization, the School of Life, to the region. They are dedicated to helping people lead more fulfilled lives. And what's so cool about this is they'll be holding workshops, self-development workshops for you as well. And certainly going to be a great event to be part of, one that fosters personal growth and long life learning as well.
It's going to be fun, to be honest. And if you are one of those people from Shira, one of the organising committee, and listening to us, please do get us Muhammad Yunus's interview, and he's a pretty important figure, and we'd love to speak to him about how he has supported entrepreneurs and entrepreneurship in Bangladesh as well. So much to look forward to in terms of events and things happening here in the Emirate of Sharjah. Let us know on the text lines 4215. What are you most excited about for the coming few weeks? We're excited about the UAE National Day celebrations because we've got a dedicated show for the National Day celebrations, and we have a number of guests coming to speak to us and share their thoughts on the world of the National Day celebrations. And if you can be part of it, you can also try to win through Pulse 95. Lots of prizes are going to be given away, so do join in the discussions and do take part in our Majlis quizzes that we do organise throughout the morning. We'll be right back after the news headlines. We're speaking to another event, and it's all about art exhibitions. What's going on? All of this will be discussed right here on the Morning Majlis.
If you liked this episode of the Morning Majlis, drop a like and subscribe.
95.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram for all our daily updates and top stories.